welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Please join the family. And if you're an old-time subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. This is part 2 of the labor vlog and my labor story, the journey. Guys, it's a long talk, so I decided to do this part 2 because I could not continue vlogging anymore, because you know, when that pain kicks in, when the labor itself kicks in, you know, you forget camera, you forget everything else. So at that point I couldn't record anymore. So I wanted to tell you guys, or just tell a story about my my labor. Like literally, that was actually the real labor. Okay, so you see that first part, that was just preamble, it was like introduction. But when the real labor started, I could not vlog anymore. It became real. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this video. So if you want to watch that, stay tuned. So the labor story, the last one that I recorded was on Wednesday. Mind you guys, I left the house to the hospital Monday 8 p.m. okay, it was about 7 something we left the house, but I was scheduled for 8 p.m. for induction on 8 p.m. on Monday. So Monday I took the cytotech, like you guys saw in the previous video. I took the cytotech, the first one, nothing really happened, you know, waited till midnight. By Tuesday morning, you know, they gave me second dose of cytotech, and then contractions started. Okay, so if I did not explain very well in the first video, like my contractions were really close to each other, that it got the doctor and the nurses like really worried, because you know, for your contractions to get that close, it means that you're about to push, and I wasn't dilating, so it was intense. All right, so they had to give me some IV meds, and they were also giving me fluids to slow down the contractions, because the contractions were really, you know, coming every 1 minute or every 2 minutes. Normally, like, if you're supposed to have like the normal labor and all, you know, you have contractions coming every 5 minutes first, then it progresses to maybe 4 minutes, progresses to 3 minutes, you know, it progresses like that. But mine started, and then it was like every 1 minute, every 2 minutes, and it was everywhere. So, and then it started getting painful, so they had to give me some IV meds on Tuesday so I could sleep. And then on the whole of Tuesday night by 9 p.m. right, still nothing was going on. I had taken the 3rd dose of the cytotech, and nothing was still working. Like I was not dilating at all. I don't know who swear for my cervix, like who said it should not open, because I don't understand. It was closed, like like they used padlock to close it. It was really closed. If you guys understand what I mean. If you've had this experience before, please drop a comment in the drop a comment down there. Okay, let's know each other, because I was really confused. Like from Monday to Tuesday evening, with all the drugs that you know, they were giving me to soften my cervix. I had seen a YouTube video of a lady that got a 2nd dose of cytotech and gave birth. Like, how did I go to the 3rd dose? And then I got to the 3rd dose, you know, nothing was still working. So the doctor came and said, I mean, if I'm saying doctor, I mean midwife, you know, just get it like that. Okay, so the midwife actually came, and then she said that you know, so they were going to do like a balloon thing. I've forgotten what it is, but they just want to like put 2 balloons in my cervix just to forcefully open up the cervix. So, but if you guys know, or if anybody has taken that form of induction before, that balloon type, you know it is very uncomfortable and it's painful, you understand. And I'd seen that on, you know, on YouTube, like people always talk about that balloon one, like it's, you know, it works, but you know, it's really painful. And also, but at that point on Tuesday, I didn't have a choice. If, you know, if that was what was going to get my cervix open, then fine, I was ready to do it. So, but mind you guys, I had a whole birth plan. I didn't want no epidural, I didn't want pain meds. All I wanted was gas and air and all of that. But all that flipped around when I got to the hospital, because everything that I planned wasn't obviously like what happened. You know, I planned a vaginal birth and I ended up having a C-section. So but we're coming right to that. Okay, so you know, so the balloon thing filled the stuff with the fluids and made it big and all of that. They did their own nurse and the medical stuff, and then after that I had asked for them to give me a epidural right after that balloon induction, because you know I know it's going to be painful and very uncomfortable. And even the midwife told me as well that, you know, after this, like, you know, I can't stand up or something. I think she said, I can't remember what she said, but she told me it was going to be painful, and I knew that wasn't painful because I had heard people talk about it and all that. So I asked for the epidural. So epidural came, and then the worst thing, I don't know how women do it, how women take epidural while having contractions. I don't know how they've been doing it. I thought it was just a needle and all that, but it's a whole long process. And then don't move, like you can't even move while they're putting in the needle in your back, because you know if they make any mistake, it could have what's it called, a consequence or whatever. I don't know what the consequence is, but they told me not to move, and the anesthesiologist made it clear that if I'm having contractions, I should just make sure I stay still. And there's a reason why obviously they said that. Maybe that could get me paralyzed, I don't know. But so it was very painful to actually hold myself having very strong contractions, very painful contractions while I take the epidural. But I knew that was just all I had to do, you know, to get myself okay. So I took the epidural after the balloon one, and then I was able to sleep that night. And after I took the epidural, I could not eat anymore, guys. If they had told me this, I would have waited till maybe the next day. Come on. Tuesday 9 p.m. guys. Okay. So this was Tuesday 9 p.m. I took the epidural and I couldn't eat anymore. So they told me all I could eat was ice chips, which is ice block. If my Nigerians, ice block, that's all I'll be chewing. But for my Americans, they told me I can only eat ice chips, because that's what you guys call it here. So they told me I could only eat ice chips. Mind you, my husband went home when they were doing this thing, trying to, because we didn't know we were going to stay that long at the hospital, right? So he went on to get more stuff and some of the things that I needed. They even got me McDonald's, you know, got me like food, my rice and the four that, you know, I had made in the fridge and all that. He got to the hospital. My sister and my brothers, I was looking at my husband eat everything like this in my face. I could not eat. Oh God, it was so funny. So I felt like crying, but you know, all you have to do to have this baby, right? So I slept Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, so the balloon thing has to stay in for 12 hours. So the next morning by 8 a.m. the midwife came to remove it. When she removed it, I recorded that part where I was telling you guys that, you know, I was 5 centimeters dilated. So I was actually mechanical 5. That was what the midwife called it. So it wasn't like as if I was like real 5 centimeters dilated. I was just mechanical 5. I don't know what the difference is, but she just kept saying mechanical 5. So it felt like, you know, I was not like really 5, but I don't know what that means, but for my nurses and doctors on this channel, you guys get the gist, okay? So yeah, so after they took the balloon out, I was very excited. This was Wednesday. I'd been at the hospital since Monday. So this was Wednesday. When they told me that on Wednesday morning, I was like, thank God I'm going to have this baby today and all. So, you know, I was happy. I called my mom. I told everybody, you know, all the people that I needed to talk to. I told them finally we were progressing, because everybody was worried from Monday and no progress and all that. So finally I told them, finally, you know, we're progressing and all that. So then we were waiting, and then they started with there is another one called, there's another type of induction medicine that is stronger Guys, if I remember the name, I'll leave the name in this on the screen. If I can't remember, but that one is stronger than Cytotec. So they didn't want to start me off really strong. They wanted to use like Cytotec first to see if that's going to work then before they, you know, progress to the other one. Guys, I don't know, I've forgotten the name of the other medication, but if I remember, I'll put it in the screen. So they waited till I was that mechanical 5 before they started that particular med. Meanwhile, guys, I told you my epidural, I took it since Tuesday night, so I didn't know that epidural used to wear off. I thought maybe it's just something you take once and then till you give birth or till you have the baby, you know, it's gonna be there. No, it wears off. It's like you use paracetamol now, or you use Tylenol right now, and then after maybe 4 or 5 hours, or you know, it just wears off, like, and then you start having that pain again. That was just what happened. So after they started with that very strong medication, my contractions were really strong. Mind you, from Monday till Tuesday, I wasn't shouting, I wasn't yelling. I was trying my best to keep the pain in, but most of the time when they gave me the IV meds, it was okay, so I wasn't feeling that much pain. But now the epidural wore off. They had given me a very strong medication to dilate, right, to open up my cervix even more. Guys, I was yelling, I was crying for help. Like, it was bad, and the epidural started making me shake. I was like shivering. I don't know, but they said, you know, epidural always does that. Guys, let me relax because my back is actually paining me. You know, this is a relaxed type of talk today. So at that moment, sorry, let me adjust my, okay. So yeah, after, you know, they had given me that medication, my contractions were really strong. I was yelling, I was shouting, and then at that point they were like, wait, what's going on? So they kept topping up the epidural by the thing on the side. It was a yellow stuff on the wall, so they kept adding more to it so I could, you know, feel better. So the first one that they added to it after the initial one I took on Tuesday, that one worked immediately. The lady gave it to me. I felt the cool chills running from my back, and then immediately I was okay. But guys, epidural doesn't really take your contraction away. For some people feel like maybe epidural takes contractions away. No, it doesn't. You're still having contractions, but you're just not in pain. I think that med or that epidural kind of messes with your brain to signal to your brain that you're not in pain, so you don't feel like you're in pain, but you are actually in pain, but you just don't feel the pain. I don't know the psychology behind it, or I don't know the medical thing behind it, but I think that's how it works. Because I was still feeling pressure, right? I was feeling pressure, but you know, obviously I was not in pain that I was shouting or yelling, so I was more calm and everything. So after that one also wore off. Now at this time it was already like almost night time, which was like about 8 p.m. but guys, so around 8 p.m. or something like that, I think 8, almost 8 or 7 something in the evening. So the second epidural already wore off, and I was crying and yelling again. My contractions were really strong, but guys, I was still not dilating. I was still on 5 centimeters. Hey, from 8 a.m. in the morning till 8 p.m. in the evening, I was still not dilating, like nothing was happening. Guys, mind you, while I was on the bed, I was on the peanut ball, I was bouncing on the ball, I was doing everything that I could. Meanwhile, after I took the epidural, obviously I couldn't walk down the bed anymore, so I had the peanut ball. They had the peanut ball in between my legs. They had me sleep in a very weird position. You know, I was hanging my neck like this, my leg was on this other side, so maybe the baby could, you know, it was just too much, guys. While they were checking my cervix all the time, mind you, I've been at the hospital since Monday, so they were checking my cervix almost, you know, all the time to see, are you dilating, any progression? They were coming, they come to check and all that. I don't know how all of a sudden I got fever, I got infected, and that infection caused me to have fever. I don't know if the nurses maybe didn't sanitize their hands very well, or their gloves were not I don't know how, because even till now I'm still thinking about it. Like, if you're well dressed, or I don't even know how to say it, like if you you cleaned up very well, how did I get an infection through the cervical check? They kept checking and checking and checking. On Wednesday, I had my fever, or my temperature went crazy. I was boiling up, and this was even when I was having contractions and I was feeling the contractions. So my husband had to, soak a towel in water and put it on my forehead while I was having that contraction. They didn't want to tell me anything because, they knew that the fault was probably from them. I don't know how that happened, and to be honest, I'm actually mad at it. But they told me because of the cervical check, I got an infection, and then I had a fever, and the fever was bad. My temperature was up, and they had to start giving me antibiotics and all of that. Guys, if you see how many medications I was taking, I was on epidural, I was taking antibiotics, I was taking fluids. It was just so much stuff. And then so I had that fever, and then so around 8 p.m. when they checked again, and they said I was still not dilating, guys. Meanwhile, the third, I wanted to take another shot of epidural when the pain got really crazy. I'm sorry, guys, if my story is like all everywhere, but I'm just telling you guys how I remember. So I told them to give me another shot of the epidural so I don't feel pain anymore, because the second one wore off already. Mind you, the third one they came, they put it in, another person put it in, and mind you, it shifts, different anesthesiologist comes and all that. So this nurse actually came to re-up the dose, and then I still wasn't feeling anything. I still was in pain, shouting, yelling. She came again that it should have kicked in. I said, this one is not kicking in. No, nothing is kicking in. I'm still feeling the pain, and then she came, she put another one again. Nothing still happened. Then they had to call the anesthesiologist to come check what was going on. Guys, the rope that connects the epidural from my back to the thing on the wall had already cut off. So it cut. So the nonsense they were giving me the last two times was a waste. Guys, they thought they were giving me epidural. Epidural wasn't entering my body because the rope had cut. Good. Hi. And then because the rope was not the thing, the tube had already broken up, right? So they said that they can't put it back, so they have to take the whole thing, take the whole epidural off my back and re-administer another epidural. If any one of you has taken epidural before, you know how it is. It's like this sticking needle like in between your spine, like, and then it's long, and it's not like they just put needle and take it out. No, it's a process. Oh God, when the anesthesiologist said that was the point that I just said, I'm done. Like, I was just over it, because at that point I was still 5 centimeters. So wait, you mean to tell me that I'm going to wait there till Thursday, probably maybe Friday, to have the baby, and I've been at the hospital since Monday? And guys, hospital in America is not joke. See, sometimes you appreciate Nigeria more when things like this happen. I mean, I'm not saying that maybe Nigeria would have like a better care or something like that. They might, but I know I would not spend a quarter of what was spent at the hospital to deliver this baby in Nigeria. I would never, even if I was at the most expensive hospital in Nigeria, I would not spend a quarter of what was spent here. Okay, so when on that Wednesday, when the anesthesiologist told me she has to re-administer another one, if not I have to hold the pain, and I was still 5 centimeters, guys, we're still going to 10. Yeah, just halfway. So at that point I just said I wanted a cesarean section. Meanwhile, normally like during induction, the reason why they always give they always resort to CS is if the baby's heart rate starts to drop, or the mother's, there's something wrong, sha. But at this point, I was the one that made the decision that I wanted the CS. I had been at the hospital since Monday. I was in pain, and then the same thing they're going to do. The funny thing now is, the reason why I even made that decision was, let me tell you guys. So I know with induction, there's 80% chance that you end up doing CS, because the drugs that they keep giving you, it can bother the baby, and every time you keep having that contraction, it squeezes in, contraction, like it's squeezing in the baby like this, so it can make the baby's heart rate drop, and the baby might be in distress. So I was thinking, even if I take another epidural and continue, so now let's say Thursday morning now, baby's heart rate starts to drop, or baby starts to get in distress. So you mean to tell me that all that Monday to Thursday, I've wasted all that time thinking I could do it myself? Let me push the baby out myself. At the end of the day, they will now tell me emergency C-section. What's my gain? I mean, at that moment, I wanted to deliver the baby vaginally, to be honest, but I actually don't see the difference in it. Now that I've gone through it, I feel like people should be open to want to have CS if they want to. Like, it should be like something that you can choose, that, okay, I don't want to give it to the baby like vaginally, you want to do CS. It should be something that people should feel comfortable actually making that decision, because to be honest, why go through all that pain and stress and all that? If I had known that, it was going to go that way, I would have opted for a CS on that same Monday that I came in, and I would have had my baby with me on Monday instead of Wednesday. Now, that Wednesday, immediately I told the anesthesiologist that I wanted a CS. They called the midwife, and then I told her about my decision, and she asked me, she was still trying to tell me no. She didn't say no. She was saying, you can still change, things can still change. She was trying to convince me to have a vaginal birth, but I told them no. At that moment, guys, I was tired. Even if miraculously I moved from that 5 centimeter to 10 centimeter, I didn't have the strength anymore to push. I was in so much pain that my body was almost giving up on me, guys. So at that moment, I was like, I'm done. Like, let's just have the CS. Let me have this baby out. I just want to see my baby. That's the most important thing. So they gave me the pep talk about the CS and all that, and I agreed. So they started prepping me for CS. So they took me to the theater where we'll do the CS, and then they had to do almost the same thing like the epidural to numb, obviously, for the operation. So they had to do that, and that part too was crazy, because I was having contractions while they were doing this thing. They told me also, stay still, do not move. Even if you're having contractions and it's painful as hell, don't move. So I could not move because they were putting the injection behind my back. And then while I immediately they laid me back, and they laid me on the stuff and all that, and then they put the stuff, like the blue is it a curtain or sheet or whatever it is, just to cover so I don't see what they're doing. And then I started getting anxiety or anxious. I don't know what it was, but at that moment they made my husband stay outside. So I was just hearing people talk and all that. I couldn't feel. I was trying to feel my legs, move my leg, or I couldn't feel anything. I just started panicking, and then I was like, what's going on? When are you guys starting this operation? Where's my husband? I know they said my husband is outside. I took the oxygen they put on my nose. I took it off. I was, it just felt like I was going crazy at that moment. I don't know what happened. I really can't explain it. If you felt that way before, please leave a comment down there. I was paranoid. I was just like, what's going on? When I was starting, I was taking things off. I was very uncomfortable. I was like, increase the AC. I'm hot. I'm this. I'm that. I was just like, everywhere, you know. And then this lady came to me, and I think one of the surgeons or whatever, she came to me and she was like, no, calm down please, don't worry, we're about to start and all that. She just like really calmed me down. And then she told me my husband was coming in, he was getting dressed or something like that. So immediately I saw my husband sat beside me. I felt better, as a root that I am. So I felt better when I saw my husband. So, and then I tried to sleep. So that was what I was doing, because I didn't want to put my mind to what they were doing. I think that was what started making me anxious, that I wanted to have, you know, a surgery or something like that. Like I started panicking, you know, because I wanted to have a surgery. I've never had surgery before in my life, so I think that was what happened. So I just closed my eyes. I held my husband's hand, and guys, not even up to 15 minutes, I just heard my baby cry. That was what opened my eyes. I just and then I saw her on the other side, where they started, you know, cleaning her up and stuff like that. My husband went there. He told my husband to come over there. He took pictures and all of that, and then that was how my baby was born. So so guys, yes, so I had my baby on Wednesday at night, guys. So, you know, still thinking about it right now, I think if I did not make that decision to have my baby through CS, I might have been there till like maybe Thursday, God knows, maybe Friday. Women, don't put yourself through too much, to be honest. Like, the pregnancy journey is a lot already, that if there is a shortcut to actually not going through so much pain anymore, please just opt for it. I see people on Instagram or on social media, or you know, whatever, you know, making people feel like people that took epidural, they're less of women, or I don't even know how to say it, like maybe they're not complete, or they're not good people, or they're not good mothers. I don't even know how to explain it, you know. But I feel like a lot of people attack women that opt for something that makes the whole labor easy. But to be honest, even if you take epidural, no labor is easy. Even if you did CS, it's still not easy. By doing CS, you're risking so much. Do you know that you could have internal bleeding and bleed to death if something goes wrong? See, whichever way anybody decides to bring a child to this life, you still brought a whole human being to this life. Celebrate yourself. You did good, you did amazing. Either CS, vaginal, whatever, you took epidural, you didn't take epidural, everybody did wonderful. Whoever's, you know, respect everybody's choice. I wanted a vaginal birth. I didn't want pain meds, but things changed, and then, you know, I had to do what I had to do to have my baby and to be okay. So, and I do not regret it one bit. I do not, actually. So I am grateful to God that I have my baby alive, and I'm also alive. That's the main thing. That's priority right there. So obviously, after some minutes, when they cleaned my baby, they put it on my chest, I was the happiest woman in the world. I got to see my baby because I've been meaning to meet her for 9 months. Like, guess what, guys? This girl, she betrayed me. She just went and when really I saw her, she looked like her dad. You can imagine carrying a child for 9 months, and then that child just betrays you. Does not even look like you one bit. Just decides to take all the features from the dad. Why? Anyways, guys, I feel really good, and I'm excited. I'm actually doing this video right now because she's sleeping. She has a lot of features, obviously, like from me. I can see some of the things that, you know, I do in her. I can see a lot of me in her. So I was just kidding, but she looks a lot like a dad, to be honest, but I'm not mad at it. She still has a lot of characters like me, so which is good. But I just wanted to share this labor story, guys. It wasn't easy. It was almost a 3-day journey, but I thank God for everything, and you know, giving me the the grace to have this baby. And I'm praying that for everyone that, you know, wishes or prays for something like this, or wants to get pregnant or wants to have a child, I pray that God answers your prayer. And I pray that you know, you're blessed with a wonderful child. And for the pregnant mamas over there, I'm praying for a safe delivery. To be honest, I do not pray for my journey on anyone. It was a very, very stressful and long labor, and I don't pray for that for you guys. So I pray that it will be short and sweet. It's gonna be wonderful. You're gonna enjoy yourself, and you're gonna make your healthy baby. Yeah, so that's the end of this video. To be honest, I actually feel good coming back and talking to you guys. It's been a while I did that, so yeah, it feels good. Please, if you're not subscribed to this channel, why now? Why do you want me to kneel down for my baby? But yeah, so don't be surprised that I don't have the energy to do makeup, but I did this one today because my baby had a newborn photo shoot today, and we also had a family photo shoot as well. So that's why I have makeup on. See, since I had this baby, I think I only had makeup on a naming ceremony, and that was it. Since then, I've not had any time to put any makeup on. So yeah, so please subscribe to my channel. Please like and comment down there. Please let's know each other. If you're new mommies like me, please drop comments in the comment section. I love to see your comments. I love to respond to your comments. Thank you so much for watching. I see you guys later. Bye.